The new NWA World Television Champion, defending against Jimmy Rave. After the match was over, Todd Sexton snuck in the NWA arena and promptly tied Jeremy V up like a pretzel. I wonder if I'm not had a chance to talk to Jeremy V about this, but I imagine V is fit to be tied. As a matter of fact, we'll be seeing the World TV Champion next week here in NWA Wildside. But I'd love to get some words from Todd Sexton. Hopefully we'll hear it in this edition of NWA Wildside.
Yes, I didn't get the opportunity to witness that in person, but I did read about it and did hear about it from my colleagues. And why? You know, Jeremy V, a guy that will put that belt on the line against anybody, any day. He's a fighting champion. It's what he's worked for so long here in Wildside. The World Television Championship, a 2-year battle that V finally wanted to become that champion, and Sexton had to go about it in that manner. Well, I guess he's gotten his attention. We'll see next week with Jeremy V in action. I'm curious as to what he has to say about all this. But nevertheless, young Randall Johnson in the ring now against the much more experienced Sexton. And I do believe this is going to be a clinic for Mr. Johnson. He's certainly shown a lot of promise in his prior matches here in NWA Wildside. And look, there he goes. And if Todd Sexton maybe underestimates him, maybe Randall Johnson will come out on top. But the odds certainly are not in his favor.
Boy, and Sexton hanging Randall Johnson. Oh, it's with his leg tied up, kind of literally like hanging on a clothesline.
Oh, good grief.
Drop kick to the knee. Oh, that's bad news for young Johnson.
Well, Sexton, the technician, can pick you apart. And that was the beginning, quite possibly the beginning of the end for Randall Johnson as he zoned in on that knee, and he really did some damage there. Let's see what Todd Sexton does further. Looks like he's going to punish him on the floor.
Not pretty. Suplex on the floor. Randall Johnson is, I'm sure, going through some agonizing pain at this moment. And Todd Sexton exchanging words with referee Jamie Tucker. Well, this Todd Sexton, quite a piece of work he is. Gifted competitor. Matter of fact, one of the main trainers at the Wildside Dojo in Cornelia, Georgia. And unfortunately, I think he's passing on a lot of his illicit and rude ways, for lack of a better term, to many of his students, which I'm not quite sure quite bodes well for the attitudes of many of the young up-and-comers in pro wrestling today.
There'll be plenty of people in the ring to make sure that attitude is checked. I can promise you that.
Well, that's good. Perhaps one of them will be Jeremy V at some juncture. Good heavens, a second suplex on the floor.
Speaking of unnecessary, talking about the attack last week on Jeremy V, this is unnecessary.
You know, a suplex in the ring is actually pretty powerful, last I checked.
He was having no trouble dominating Randall Johnson in the ring. This fiery rookie got a lot to learn. And there Todd Sexton goes. The knee that was attacked on the ropes now being dismantled piece by piece.
Now that's interesting. I mean, Todd Sexton drop kicks the knee from the top rope when actually it would have been more effective from the floor, from the ring mat. Interesting how he tackled that. And in all honesty, he'd be actually closer to the knee, taking a bit more of an advantage. Regardless, Todd Sexton obviously here to make a point at the expense of a young up-and-comer, Randall Johnson.
Johnson just writhing in pain there as Jamie Tucker warning him with the count.
And referee Jamie Tucker has seen some real head cases in his life. Hell, he's worked for WCW.
Enough said. Randall Johnson, look at him! Look at the heart! Look at him! Randall Johnson fighting back!
Well, stay on him, Johnson. Hey, fire up on someone else this time, Johnson. Stick with Todd Sexton.
Oh.
A big rookie mistake looking down, and yet there's another one of those low drop kicks to the oft-abused knee of Randall Johnson, and the technician, Todd Sexton, perhaps sees the end in sight. Oh, Sexton, now backslide. Only a 2 count. Smart thinking on the part of Johnson.
Powerbomb by Sexton. He's got him hooked, turns it over in the sharpshooter. And Randall Johnson has no choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner via submission, the technician, Todd Sexton.